How to do, y'all? This is John, and today we are talking about The War of the Worlds, a classic movie released back in 1953, starring Gene Barry. And in The War of the Worlds, it deals with an alien invasion from Mars on Earth, and a group of scientists and the military's attempts to try and destroy the alien invaders. The film is an adaptation of H.G. Wells's classic novel from the 1890s, The War of the Worlds. And as of right now, this is probably the most important movie I've done a review of. Obviously, the Bela Lugosi's Dracula is a game changer, I understand that, but I think we still would have had vampire movies without it. But with The War of the Worlds, I don't think the sci-fi genre would be the same without it. Because, and this is my first positive on the movie, while other sci-fi movies of that day were very cheaply made and cheesy as heck and had ridiculous stories, The War of the Worlds completely altered it. George Pal and director Brian Haskin did their best to try and make this movie look good decades later, and the special effects in the film are beyond anything else in the 1950s. Obviously, they're crude by today's standards. However, we live in a post-2001 A Space Odyssey era. This is pre-2001 A Space Odyssey. Themes were very different. I still like a lot of the miniature and model effects in this film, and honestly, the miniature buildings actually still look very realistic 70 years later. And also, this movie has a series of firsts in it. It was the first movie ever made where you really get like this apocalyptic feel about a lot of the things going on. The entire time the Martians are destroying things and everything like that. This stuff is still pretty intense by today's standards, and I wonder what the heck people felt about it back in 1953. I would have really liked to have been a person who grew up till that point and just sat in the theater and watched just watch this movie and see the shock and awe of people and myself over everything going on. And in terms of like the narrative and the characters, the movie has, similarly to on just a visual level, a lot of narrative firsts. A lot of the alien invasion cliches we see today started here. This is the very first movie to use military and science to try and thwart an alien invasion. This is the first movie where they made an attempt to make the aliens much more advanced than us. And this also has the very first force field used in a movie. Although they called it a magnetized umbrella instead of a force field. Even the classic, hey, let's use the atom bomb, oh, it didn't work, that probably scared a lot of people back then. In terms of like issues with the movie, I do think that the characters are a little underdeveloped. Now, granted, that is typical for 50s sci-fi and monster movies, but that doesn't mean that I'm gonna give it a pass or anything like that. Like the main character, his name's Dr. Clayton Forrester. No, he does not live in Deep 13. That's a different Clayton Forrester. A funny one, not a serious one, but you literally don't know much about him other than he's a really smart scientist. And the military men, they're military men. His Clayton's girlfriend, that's really about all you know about him. But other than that, I think this movie has aged exceptionally well, and I do also simultaneously really appreciate its impact on cinema. I don't think Stanley Kubrick would have gotten a chance to make 2001 if War of the Worlds had not been made. I don't think any other incredibly good, incredibly well-made sci-fi movies like Planet of the Apes, Star Wars, that kind of stuff would have even stood a chance if the War of the Worlds did not get made. Thank George Pal and Brian Haskin for making this film. I thank everybody who worked on it. You guys did a great job. And I am going to give The War of the Worlds a 9. The only thing stopping me from giving this a 10 out of 10 is underdeveloped characters. That's it. Well, that's all the time I have for today. Please hit the like button if you enjoyed this video. Please also subscribe if you're new to the channel. And as always, please remember, the Bradetsky will return.